Morning. The aluminum axles are underneath this bomber finally. And hopefully this is the last little update that I'll do until everything is completely wired. Rear axle is in there. Have to put the drive shaft back in it. Some fitment issues with the drive shafts, no big deal. And then the front axle, same thing. And I'll show you real quick what the little issue is with it and how easy it is going to be to fix. Here's one of the drive shafts that ties into the axle on both ends. And this is a stock unit. You can see there is a plastic collar up here. If I pull that plastic collar out of the way, you can see here just the slightest little bit of a shoulder at the end of that cup. That little lip right there. Right there. You see where it stubs out just a little bit. That's got to be ground down, because believe it or not, whenever you set this onto the axle itself, there's just enough room. The camera will straighten out. There's just enough room to keep the grub screw from seating in all the way through. The way these axles are made. So that's got to be ground down in order to get the clearance to get the grub screws in there, and then I can put the drive shafts together, and this thing will just about be done. Other than that, just the final wiring, tying everything back into the receiver, settling on the motor and ESC combo, and then from there it's just a matter of what are we going to do with this body? Are we going to run this body, or are we going to run some other body? And I've got something here to show you. I won't put it on this. There's some little trim stuff that has to be done in order for it to sit on here correctly, but I've got something else to show you too. Clint came over. We got these axles underneath, or I had them underneath whenever he got here. So I had the stock axle, the other axles that were originally under this, the SCX 10-2 axles. And so I just had them sitting here, and I wasn't looking forward to putting them under the Wraith that he had sitting here, but we did it anyway. Here's the Wraith with the SCX 10-2 axles underneath. And I'm trying to get out here a little bit so you can see how much more narrow it is over the stock stuff. And you wouldn't believe, but these axles went under this truck in less than 10 minutes with absolutely no fitment issues at all. Used the links that were already on the truck. There was no adjustments or anything needed at all. Just took the old axles out, swapped these in, and everything just fell right into place. This thing is pretty much ready to go. Only thing it needs now is a receiver and an ESC and a little bit of just nut and bolting to tighten everything up, which everything's pretty much tight right now, but just the final prep, and it'll be ready for the trails. Truck is sitting on a set of 1.9 OTSIC Voodoo KLRs all the way around it. They are foamed, and they have some serious grip. They are really nice. The wheels, I'm not sure, but they look good. They're aluminums, beadlocks obviously, and as far as flex, we got a fair amount of flex for now. No battery, obviously, once the battery's in there. I play around with some preload on the shocks, and it should limber up a little bit and be pretty dangerous. So the spawn body that was on it, we took liberties to try to do a little bit of customization on it. Didn't work out. Well, it was already missing the hood on the body, so it wasn't like we were losing a whole lot. And so it opens up a lot of possibilities for what to put on it. Now, on these old Wraiths, there's not many body choices, obviously. You can go back with the original panels for the truck, or you can try to find a Lexan body that'll fit if you're lucky. Or you can do something like that. Now, that is not so really supposed to go on here, but I figured I would use it as an example to show you guys what you can do with just a little bit of modifications to this cab. Now this cab is a RC 4-wheel drive Mojave. This is the cab that they put on the Trailfinder 2. Got the cab and the bed. The bed is over here somewhere. I will dig it out in just a minute. So there's some plans to use portions of that bed as well. This is just the cab alone and the bed alone. We didn't need everything else in order to try to use this. The only thing I had to do in order to make her fit, really, is right back here on this stuff here. You can see where I've had to cut it or grind it down. There was a little piece. I still need to clean it up just a little bit here. But there was a lip of about 1/8 of an inch of material around here to give it some rigidity. Well, in order to make it fit the cages of this thing, all you really have to do is just Dremel that out and then go inside. You don't have to do this, but I did it because I remember doing it on my original. These stubs here were for the interior up here and then for the grill up here at the front. Just ground those down as best, you know, they ain't got to be perfect, but just grind them down. And then that will allow you to sit it on, you know, whatever kind of rig you were trying to do a custom job. Now, when I sit this thing on here, don't pay any attention to the horns up here at the front, because all of this has to be massaged and finagled and cut and all that good stuff. But I'll set it up and show you what I'm talking about. It fits it just about to a T, and with a little bit of time, you can make a really nice rig out of this. Actually, do a little bit of pinch work up here at the front if you wanted to, which is not hard. Just a little time consuming. Just take your time and it works out pretty well. And have yourself a pretty nice rig for a body. Cab, I think, was like $16 and the bed was 17 or 18. And let's see, if you do that, say $35 total for all of it, it's hard to find a decent crawler body for that anymore. So this is just an option. I'm going to set it up there and just show you what it is. It's not bad at all. There's a little bit of body work and a little bit of cutting and some imagination. You wind up with something really close to this. Now, you can see here what I mean by this. This portion of the body would have to be trimmed because it's into the tires. Not a big deal. Whenever you kind of radius this off and bring it out of the straight, I used to run them into this corner right here. If you can see that little nub, go right up under those lines and then just follow it back and then actually grind off this piece of this fender flare. It sits on there really neat. Now, it doesn't fit it perfect. You do have a little bit of a gap back here, and for you sticklers, you could actually go in here with some styrene and fill it in, or buy two of these things and add like an extra cab to fill it in correctly, but then it goes past this door bar here. Now, this screw hole is an original mount that ties this body to the bed of the TF2 body together. It holds it together right there, but there's a hole right behind it where the original panels went into, so you can actually fit this into that hole and use it to hold it together. It's going to fight me because of that horn on the front, but do it. Just see past all of that right now if you guys will. But it's not a hard process. I did it to mine years ago, my original Wraith, because I wanted something different, and there was no really decent bodies out there. So this is what I did. Now, and along with that, here's the bed. Now this ties in, as you can see right here. These holes go into this hole and that hole there. And what I'm going to do is, at whichever rig we put it on, this is old drop bed, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take this bed completely out all the way around and actually take the Dremel and follow this seam here, seam around, same thing on this side, follow this seam around to where there's nothing there, and then I'll wind up more than likely taking the whole back tailgate off of it. And so you'll just basically have bed sides, you know, the sides of the bed there. And what I'll do then is actually take one of the bed sides, put it into these holes, set the body back down, take the heat gun and heat it on that seam, and then fold it around to pinch it on the rear, because as you can see, there's not a straight shot there. So if you can fold it in there, man, it starts to really look neat. I'll try to put a picture of mine in here, and don't hold it against me that it didn't finish paint. But let me see if I can drop a picture right here. But yeah, as you can see, it's really not a hard process. We may wind up and have to bob this bed. If you do have to bob it, it's a simple thing to bob it and then put it back together. Do a little plastic weld work. And then the only other thing you would have to do is figure out if you want to run a tailgate on the rear. And if you do, it's just simply sectioning that tailgate and doing the same thing. A little plastic weld, maybe just a little bit of reinforcement there with some styrene, and then set it back on the truck. And man, you wind up with something that nobody else has really got. I know there's a lot of them out there on truggies out there that do run this body or run something really similar, but for the money and just a little bit of time, you wind up with something really, really cool, and something that a lot of people aren't going to have. So whether it goes on this truck or if it's going on the other one that I just showed you, the Bomber, I'm not really sure right now. I do know that I'm considering doing this to that thing up there just to make it different. But I will keep you guys informed of what's going on. Been out of the shop because of Tropical Storm Debbie dumping a deluge of rain out here. So we've been doing yard and cleanup work for the last few days, so everything on the benches just basically got pushed back. But I figured I'd give you a real quick update, let you know what was going on. The Wraith is just about ready. The Bomber is just needing final wiring, and it's ready to go outside of body work. And there we are. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And we will talk to you guys real soon on the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, man. I don't mind talking to anybody about this stuff. And if I can help, I'll definitely will. You guys take good care, and we'll see you later.